Hello there, welcome to my channel. If you haven't been here before, I'm Sharon Mason and I am a quantum healing hypnosis and entity release practitioner. And I'm here today just to talk about a few frequently asked questions about quantum healing hypnosis and entity release. So first of all, let me just start by giving you my website address, which is www.sharonmason.co.uk. And if you go there, you can find out more about quantum healing hypnosis and entity release, all about how to find out whether or not it's likely if you have entity attachments, and how to book a session with me. So what is quantum healing hypnosis? Quantum healing hypnosis is a powerful technique which aids physical, spiritual, and emotional healing by using the deepest theta brainwave state of hypnosis. Now, this technique can release negative energetic attachments as well. So by using SCHH, which is Soul Center Healing Hypnosis, which is the modality that I practice in my quantum healing hypnosis sessions, you can basically find and remove these energetic parasites, which I'm going to talk about more in a little while. So I've personally experienced instantaneous physical healing myself after having quantum healing hypnosis sessions and soul center healing hypnosis. And I combine the two in my sessions myself. And I've had many clients feedback that they've also had instantaneous healing. So it does work. It is pretty amazing when you see the results. And I practice both face-to-face in my healing room in Warminster in Wiltshire, and also online worldwide. So wherever you are in the world, you can book a quantum healing hypnosis and entity release session with me if you want to. So what happens during a session? So the session starts with a live interview where you discuss your reasons for wanting treatment and the questions that you'd like to ask your higher self. We then have a quick comfort break before the actual hypnosis session starts, and the session ends with a debrief about what you've experienced during the hypnosis session. And then afterwards, you'll send a copy of the session recording, which is either video or audio, depending on whether you're doing an online session or a face-to-face session. And you can listen to that and keep that recording. I'm also asked, what if I have no spiritual beliefs? Will this technique still work for me? Well, you don't have to have any spiritual beliefs for this technique to work, although it always helps if you have an open and inquiring mind and accept the information that comes through. The success of the session relies on your ability to trust the information coming to you and shut off your conscious monkey mind. Now remember, this is not information which is coming from me, it is coming directly from you. I am merely facilitating the conversation between you and your higher self. How long is a full session? So a full session lasts for typically around 4 hours, and the time breaks up as follows. So you have an introduction and live interview, which is about 1 hour. You have a break for about 5 minutes. Then you have the hypnotic induction, which generally takes about 20 to 30 minutes. And then you're in that hypnotic state for up to 2 hours. And then we have the post-hypnotic debrief after you're brought out, and that's up to about 30 minutes. So how much does a session cost? Well, this changes depending on which practitioner you see. Me personally, at the moment, I charge £180 for a full 4-hour session, but I'm also considering offering shorter sessions for half price. So if you're interested in booking either a full-length session with me or a shorter length session with me, do please get in touch. I can manage budgets for pretty much anyone. So please do get in touch if you're in, if you're in any doubt or any worries about money. Just get in touch and I will help if I can. Another question that I'm asked is, am I able to have a session face-to-face at my home or in a hotel? So in some instances, it may be possible to book a face-to-face session at another location other than at my home treatment office. But for special requests, please contact me. So what equipment must I have to have this treatment online? So you must have the following in place for online treatment to take place. And this usually happens over at the Zoom. So you must have fast and reliable internet speed, with speed over 25 megabits per second. You must have a laptop computer with a working camera, which is plugged into the mains throughout the session. You must have a gaming style headset with a mic that sits directly in front of your mouth, which looks a bit like this, that. You must have a comfortable place to lie, either a bed or sofa, where you can put the laptop so I can see the top half of your body, and also your head's up to about there. You must have a blanket to cover yourself, because if you're lying still for about 2 hours, you might get a little bit cold. And you should also have a glass of water and some tissues handy as well. So what kind of questions can you ask your higher self? Well, you can ask your higher self absolutely anything. You can ask about your own life or past lives. You can ask about relationships, family, health, finances, your job, your interests, your pets, and your life purpose. You can even get messages from loved ones or from pets who have passed over. You can ask for healing for pets, family, or friends if you wish. And during the session, we tend to ask up to about 10 questions. I can edit these for you during the interview at the beginning if need be, and we can add to or remove questions as necessary before the session. So some questions that you might like to ask. What is my life's purpose? Am I on the right path? And if not, what can I do to take me there? Should I be in the relationship that I'm currently in? Or if not, is there somebody that I should be with? Is there some reason why I have an allergy to a specific food type? Why do I have a particular phobia? How can I stop smoking? How can I lose weight? Why am I having nightmares? What is the significance of my birthmark? Why do I have a difficult relationship with a particular person? What is the origin of the discomfort in my shoulder, for example, and how can it be healed? I'm currently suffering with some kind of condition. Why is that, and how can I heal it? What does my pet want me to know about them? Is there any message from my deceased mother that she'd like to give to me? Why have I always had a fascination with ancient Egypt? How were the pyramids built? Those sort of questions. So you can ask absolutely anything. So that's just an example of the sorts of things that I generally have people asking. You can ask absolutely anything at all. So what kind of conditions can benefit from quantum healing hypnosis and entity release? So most, if not all, conditions can benefit from this treatment, which has been known to provide instantaneous relief or complete healing in some instances. Now you can view a comprehensive list of the type of conditions that are regularly treated on my website. Now, this treatment will not be suitable for people who are profoundly deaf or cannot speak, those who have Alzheimer's disease, or people with schizophrenia. Although people with these conditions can still be helped with a surrogate session. If you'd like to know more about surrogate sessions and how they work, please do get in contact with me via my website. So entity release now. What is entity release? So entity or spirit release is a technique used during the hypnosis session if the client's subconscious has confirmed that the client has an attached negative entity or energy. Now, this technique allows a compassionate release of that entity back to source. So what are entity attachments? Spiritual entities can attach to a person's damaged auric field or energy body when that person has either suffered from any kind of trauma, abuse, or physical or emotional pain. Now, this can result from an accident, surgery, or serious hospital stay due to injury at some point during their life. It's also possible for entities to join at birth or to be attached from previous lifetimes. Now, individuals will most likely not realize that they have an entity attachment, but it is extremely common. And it's said about 70 to 80% of the world's population experience entity attachments. So there is a quiz on my website that you can take. If you go to the FAQs page, you can take that quiz to see whether or not it's likely if you have entity attachments. So once an entity attaches itself to a person, it can influence their attitudes, their choices, their emotions, their behaviors and decisions, and they can also produce physical pain and disease. So the key indications of an entity attachment can include any of the following: feeling out of control, having a lack of energy, brain fog, anxiety, low self-esteem, a sudden change in behavior or personality, suddenly acquiring a new taste for something or a new skill out of the blue, a behavior change after an organ transplant, feeling upset for no apparent reason, having thoughts of self-harm or suicide, destructive or self-sabotaging behavior, having a terrible temper, sudden mood swings, suffering depression, eating disorders, hoarding, night terrors, nightmares or unusual sleep behaviors and sleepwalking, hearing voices in your head. Now that's a big one, that's a very big clue. If you're hearing voices in your head, it sounds like it's very much due to an entity, and it's not just something in your mind. So you're not going mad, you most likely have an entity attachment. So please do get some help if you're hearing voices. If you have thoughts that feel contrary to your own, if you feel like you become a different person when you drink, having periods of blacking out or being unable to recall events, having addictions, for example, alcohol, drugs, or pornography, or having any kind of paranormal disruptions in your home, that can also indicate an entity attachment. So if any traumas occurred in your childhood, then that's very likely that those people will have entity attachments, and they're likely to have more than one entity attachment. Entities can be either earthbound spirits, who are spirits who were human and have died. Some don't know they're dead. Some may have died very suddenly or traumatically, and they're confused and they don't know where to go, or they're angry, or they're afraid that they will be judged. Some of those who've just passed with unfinished business. It's also possible for deceased family members to attach to their loved ones. The more negative varieties of entities can be dark or demonic entities who are in the negatively polarized lower astral realm. Their main purpose is to do harm to individuals, and this may include keeping them in physical pain, giving them behavioral issues and relationship problems, causing depression, lack of energy, or keeping them spiritually down. Now, the wonderful thing about the soul center healing technique is that not only does it remove attachments from the client, benefiting their own health and well-being, but it also benefits the entities who are released. So the dark entities are turned over to the light, and the earthbound spirits who've been stuck in pain and confusion are freed to cross over to a place of joy, love, and release, and are able to reconnect with their loved ones on the other side who are waiting for them. So if a person does have entities to remove, and this is confirmed by the subconscious under hypnosis, then we treat that as the priority for the session to first of all remove these energy parasites. If a person has many energy parasites, then we tend to do most of the session concentrating on removing those parasites. If they don't have too many parasites, we then move on to past life regression. So during past life regression, the higher self will show the client whatever previous lives are relevant for them to see right now. So they might have asked questions about, for example, why do I have a phobia of something? So if they've asked that question, the higher self would likely show them an event in a previous life where they have encountered something which has given them this particular phobia. So, for example, in my case, one of my phobias was sharks. And in my past life regression, I was shown a shark attack. So in one of my previous lives, I've been attacked by a shark, which is why I had a fear of sharks. So that's sort of how it works. So if you have phobias in this life, or you have things that you are allergic to, it's quite possible that these have been caused by something that you have experienced in a previous life. So we try and do up to 3 different previous lives in a session if we have time. We then call the client's higher self forward to answer their higher self questions. And then once that is done, once that is complete, and we have all the answers to their higher self questions, we then bring the client out of hypnosis. And once the client is out of hypnosis, we then have a chat about the attachments that we've released and the past lives that they may have seen and the higher self questions. And then that client is then sent away with that recording to listen to a couple of times after the treatment. And the more that one listens to the recording after treatment, the more healing is received, and the more understanding that the subconscious gets, and that enables the body to release anything which is being held, any trauma which is being held. So the more that recording is listened to. So that's an explanation going a little way into quantum healing hypnosis. So I hope that makes some sense. If you'd like to know more, please visit my website, www.sharonmason.co.uk. If you need help, please do reach out to me. And I hope to see you in my next video. Bye for now.